Okay, well, we're dealing with harsh times with these anime shows that's coming out in the spring. And don't get me wrong, there are some good shows in the spring, and some of them are being pushed back to July. So summer shows is gonna be hell. But this is not an anime review. This is more like I said before, one of the comments I said about the whole Bakugo thing, what you guys should watch is I said if any questions or any top five, least, most, whatever, post it in a comment and I'll get right to it. So, one of the question was, why do I like anime and what's my interest? Well, buckle your seatbelt because this is gonna be one of those stories that's gonna make you feel like you're one of us. I'm one of you guys or something like that. But let me just say this. Growing up as a kid, I didn't know what was anime to me at the time. Every time I turn on the TV, I always just thought of it as a cartoon. Like cartoon shows like the Powerpuff Girls, Ed and Eddie. Those type of shows. And the shows like that I didn't like anytime it aired on Cartoon Network as a kid, I always thought that this is a cartoon show. And even when shows was on 4Kids or anything like that, it was just a regular cartoon show. Shows like back then when Pokemon came out, I didn't think it was anime, to be honest. I mean, growing up as a kid, I just think of it as just an anime. Like the word, like to me as a kid, the word anime didn't even come up in my head. That word didn't even that word anime wasn't a thing in my life. The word didn't even come up. I always go to school as a little kid and say, "Hey, do you watch this cartoon show called Pokemon? Hey, you watch this cartoon show called..." What I mean? It was those type of things that really got me into saying this is a cartoon show. But then when that word came up, anime, that was the epitome of what is anime to me? Like, what was anime? So, and I was like, elementary, I didn't really fit in. Let me just say this. Elementary, I didn't really fit in with the crowd. Because back then, people was talking about pop culture, music, wrestling, like WWE back in the days, and shows that was on Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, Disney Channel, those types. Those were the people I was with. But I was never talked about anime. And I get picked on at times because I talk about shows like that, but they don't even know what I mean. Like, even when we play Yu-Gi-Oh cards or Pokemon cards or even Digimon cards, at the time, again, it was not, to me, I didn't know what the word anime means to me. That was sad. Middle school came, and I remember drawing a Dark Magician. The Dark Magician at the time, when Yu-Gi-Oh came out, Dark Magician was my favorite monster card. Second to that was Red Eyes Black Dragon, because red was my favorite color, and it was like Red Eyes Black Dragon, and then the third favorite was Blue Eyes White Dragon. At the time, when they were in Duelist Kingdom, not Battle City, because if it was Battle City, it would be Dark Magician Girl. But at the time when Yu-Gi-Oh was like a big hit around the Duelist Kingdom era, to me, that was like not the anime type I want to talk about. But then, one show that got me taking anime seriously now was Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon was the first anime show that took me to the road to the anime community. Like elementary, junior high, and high school, I didn't fit it in. Those were harsh times to talk about because there were no anime club throughout the high school, middle school, elementary school years of there was no anime club at all. It was hard for me to find people who talked about anime because it really is. I mean, but Sailor Moon, back to what I was saying, Sailor Moon was the first show that got me into anime really, really seriously. Don't get me wrong, Pokemon was it, but then to me, Pokemon didn't really is this anime? But Sailor Moon? The 90s Sailor Moon. This show made me understand the world of anime. Like, storyline wise, the plot, the characters, and all that stuff. In fact, it got to that point where I finally get to have my favorite Sailor Scout, which is Sailor Mercury, and I like Sailor Mercury. But when I bring up Sailor Moon, nobody didn't even know what it was. It was hard for me to talk about other anime shows that came out in that time, like Naruto and stuff, in my high school and middle school, but it was hard. Let me just say that. It was hard for me to bring up anime shows because most people didn't even know what it was. Back then, Toonami was like the show that had Cyborg 009, Cowboy Bebop, Inuyasha. But again, around that timeline, around that time, it was hard to find people to talk about it. Like, growing up, just talking about wrestling, cards, culture, like the world out there, it was hard for me. In fact, I haven't been into since then, I haven't been to, since, even in high school, it was hard to even go to a convention. Like, I've never been in a convention before in high school. In high school years, I've never been to an anime convention. I've never been to an anime community that happens, like, let's say, every Saturday is a meetup, like a group meetup, all that stuff. And I never even attended those. I never. Because, again, the area I grew up in, it was hard. I couldn't find nothing. And I get picked on. There are times that I get picked on because they didn't, if I mention this anime show, they didn't even know what it is. They pick fun of me because of what I collect. If I collect something, cards on something, and then I bring up anything, they just don't know what it is. That right there was the breaking point. Like, I don't know who I'm gonna find in elementary, middle school, and high school to talk about anime. It was like I was like a boy in a corner, just watching my shows in peace. Everyone else was talking randomly stuff. But if I bring up a show, they don't even know what it was. So I was like the lone wolf in this. But college came, and again, I didn't think my college was going to have an anime club or nothing. Sure, I had a chess club. I've been in chess club for 4 years straight in high school, but that was the only club experience I had. But then Club Fair came, and they had the anime club. Like, the anime club, they had it. That was the moment that I get to meet new faces and talk about anime to the core. Even debate about who's best waifu among any other show, regardless if you like it or not. And still to this day, Hinata Hyuga of Naruto, Hinata Hyuga is without doubt the best waifu of all time in my book. And I still cherish that till this day. Still. But like I said, there's other waifus I like. Like in Fairy Tail is Urza. Sailor Moon is Mercury. One Piece is Nami, but you get the point. Now, the reason why I like anime is because I finally get to meet people who has the same interests as me. It was hard for me to even talk about anime back in my early years, but it's now that I finished college, But my point is, like, in college, I was meeting other people who talks about anime, shows that they got me into that I didn't even know about. Yet I watched it because it was so fun to watch. Like my friends, like back then, my colleagues told me to watch Toradora, and I didn't even know what Toradora was. But after watching it, I liked it, and so on and so forth. And then early on, I've been going to like New York Comic Con. I've been going to anime conventions. I've been going to like any big meetups that they had to embrace the anime in me. That's the thing. Now, the thing about me is, I may not know anything about pop culture or anything like that, but anime kept me from other people who doesn't understand me. It was hard for me in the group to talk about anime because no one don't know what it was. Even if I bring up a show like Sailor Moon, Naruto, or Bleach, fandom-wise, or even these new shows that come out, people are going to say, I haven't heard of it. Even if a show wasn't came out last year, the answer would be no. But overall, I had a rough childhood talking about anime. It was very, very tough. Sure, playing Yu-Gi-Oh cards and talking about wrestling at the time was kind of a thing, but anytime I bring up anime or whatnot, it was very, very tough. Very tough. Anime is the only reason what's keeping me from living. Let me say that because I don't go outside a lot and just hang out with groups at random. No. I hang out with the people that let me just say this. I hang out with people when they, like, let's say there's an anime party or socialing, like anime parties or going to an event or conventions. That's where I meet new faces and talk about the anime and debate about it non-stop. That's what I like about anime. It's a community that we all can debate on, and meeting new faces regardless if it's good or not. Having rivalries, having frenemies, having rivalries. That's what make anime really, really touching for me. So, and future on, I like to embrace every show that I have watched and teach other people and give their knowledge of the anime shows that I've watched and pass it down to pass the torch to further on ahead. So that's why I like anime. Meeting new faces, going to conventions, embrace the nerdiness inside of me. That was the deal. I don't really go hard as much, but now you know why. But like I said, if there's any comments you guys want to post it, like my top 5 most or top 5 least, or why do I like or why do I hate things, let me know, and I will get right to it. So if there's any questions you want to know about me, or any top 5 or top 5 least, most, whatever, post it in my comments. So that's it for now, and I'll see you soon.